Shannon, been following this for a long time. What's your reaction to these latest developments?
I don't think it's a surprise to anybody, Skip. We had been talking about this all year, and we knew that bad blood was going to be simmering. No, not simmering, brewing. And it was about to overflow, given that we were at the end of the contract, and Lamar Jackson had won an MVP, and still there was no extension. I can't remember a time in which a player won an MVP within the first 3 years and then had to play the remaining 2 years out of his rookie contract. Now, that might, in today's time, Skip, I'm not talking about years and years ago, but even Tom Brady, Skip, when Tom Brady won the Super Bowl, they redid his contract.
They did. Yep.
They redid it. So I'm thinking that's the normal rule of thumb, that they're going to redo the contract.
Ditto.
But when it didn't happen, and then he's like, okay, you said, well, he won an MVP, but he lost the playoff game. The next year he comes back and he wins the playoff game, and he does it on the road. And they don't do the contract. And then the next year, Skip, he plays well, but they don't do the contract. And he goes in and says, I'm not worried about it, yada, 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 everything will take care of itself. Well, when it didn't take care of itself, you know Lamar Jackson, like, well, damn, what I got to do to win a contract? I win an MVP, I win your playoff game, I take you to the playoff, I win the division, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and it's crickets from you. It's hard for me to believe that they didn't offer a contract, but like Lamar says, my value, his value, how they value him, clearly, Skip, it's been reported they're $100 million apart. $100 million apart normally means, Skip, is a $1 billion deal. You see teams that organize, the Washington football team wants to sell. Reported that he wants this. They're hundreds of millions apart. But normally on a $200 million deal, you don't be, Skip, if you're $100 million apart on a $200 million deal, what the hell they offer you, 32 cents? So I'm not surprised that it got to this. I'm surprised that Lamar took this time now. And it seems to be this is where the information is going to come from. His Twitter, or I think he has a Facebook fan page called fanstrust8.com. And it seems to be that's where the information, because he got tired of one side leaking information without his side being told. But Lamar, you shouldn't be surprised by that. Be surprised by, Skip, I think we all go through this, is that sometimes people, it used to bother me when people would say things about me. But those people didn't like me to begin with. It's the people that believed it. Those are the ones that I need to cut off. Lamar, those are the ones that you need to cut off. People, they're going to say, you know, this how this game works. Game dirty, Lamar. And I'm glad I'm sorry that it took you being in a contract situation to understand it's always been business.
Okay, my turn. I got two reactions to this. One is sad and one is happy. My sad reaction is, I thought this was a fairy tale story. These are the Baltimore Ravens we're talking about. You played for this franchise. It's known for class. It's known for dignity. It's known for doing it the right way. Play like a Raven. It's known for tradition, purple tradition. I thought Lamar was born to be a Raven. The Ravens took a shot on Lamar when nobody else would.
Traded back in the first round. That was Ozzy's last pick.
Last pick. Way to go, Ozzie Newsome. Somebody you know very well.
Very.
He did this. I did not see this coming. I watched Lamar a lot at Louisville, and it's not that I didn't like him. I just couldn't see this.
No.
And it happened right before your very eyes. What was it? Was it his second or third?
Second year.
Second year. He wins the MVP. He's throwing darts. He leads the league in touchdown passes. You can't do that if you can't throw from the pocket. And he did that. We all agree he's as electrifying an open field runner as we have in the game right now, as electrifying as I've ever seen this side of Michael Vick. And I give you this. He got hurt down the stretch of the last 2 years. But I'm not going to count this past year because it was bad blood from the start.
He's right. Shouldn't have played.
I told you I heard from a Raven player who was in meetings with Lamar who was just shocked at how half-hearted he was participating in meetings. And I said, I get it. He is a proud young man. He is 25 years of age, and he won the MVP, and they will not make good on what they owe him for what he has done. Because clearly they think he can't stay healthy going forward. Or maybe they don't trust him as a quarterback. I don't know what it is, but it went completely off the rails. So now we have to get hit with this in the middle of the league meetings, which is
John Harbaugh was about to speak. They said it came a couple of minutes before Harbaugh was about to speak at the meeting.
And the first tweet is about, I want you all to know not to believe everything you read about me. So he's trying to regain control of his narrative that he thinks the Ravens have controlled through insiders throughout the league. Okay. As of March 2nd, I requested a trade. Okay. That's quite a ways back, but that didn't get leaked until right now.
Right.
He has been tagged, but the first thing that's going to have to happen is he's going to have to accept the tender. He's going to have to sign the tender. But now at the league meetings, this has all been complicated because Lamar did not have a bona fide certified agent.
Correct.
He tried to send out a member of his inner circle to knock on doors for him, and the NFL on Friday said, no way.
Nope.
Got to be certified. Don't take his phone calls. Don't talk to him because that is against our rules that are there to protect the players.
That is correct.
Okay. So here we go. Now at the league meetings, this is where the agent, once again, just like at the combine, you could be working back channels to try to figure out to put a deal together where the Ravens would buy it and Lamar would buy it.
Correct.
So then he would have to sign the tender.
Yes, he has to sign the tender.
And then he'd be officially Ravens property and they could trade him. Okay.
Right.
So that's where we sit right now. Okay, now I'm going to do the happy part of this. He is 25 years of age. Do you remember what I said about Deshaun Watson?
Yes.
When he suddenly hit the market at 25, I was saying in the history of the National Football League, this has never happened before. The difference being that Deshaun Watson had all kinds of baggage. Lamar has zero of that baggage.
Yes.
You can do injuries if you want to make that baggage. But as far as off the field, as far as I know, Lamar has been a model citizen and leader of this football team.
That is correct.
And when it is time to play football, he gives you every last ounce of his heart, and he's got a big heart to give. So my point is, if I'm another team right now, this is just me. Again, I'm completely sold. I'm a big fan because he will take over and lead your franchise, and I believe you can win multiple Super Bowls with Lamar Jackson. He is available at age 25. It looks and feels over with the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm sorry for, as he says, the Baltimore flock. I'm sorry for you fans. This went sideways, and it shouldn't have, because this should have been headed off the pass a long time ago.
This is something that we haven't seen before. If I'm, it's the fact that, Skip, I don't believe the 2 first rounders is I mean, obviously people want to hold on to the draft capital.
Okay, but that's off the tag.
Right.
Okay, but you can circumvent that if you make a trade.
Okay, what about a first and a second? What about a first and a third?
Yep.
Skip, it's the money that's guaranteed.
Yep, that's it.
I mean, the only time that has happened that a guy was tagged and ended up trading teams, if I'm not mistaken, was maybe Sean Gilbert. I think Sean Gilbert, he left Washington and went to Carolina.
Yep.
But it doesn't happen often, Skip.
No. Okay, so you know how much I love Bryce Young. You love Bryce.
Yes.
I'm just telling you what I think. Right here, right now, if I'm having to bet on Bryce Young or Lamar Jackson, I'm betting on Lamar Jackson because I've seen him do it before at the highest level.
Skip, I believe it's more so the compensation. It's the guaranteed money. And the owners, we're going to get a hold of this.
Yeah.
Because
I brought up Deshaun, and maybe Lamar is suffering because of Deshaun. Maybe he's losing because of what Deshaun got.
Well, Skip, what they thought was happened, you remember when Cousins was the first one to do this. He got a 3-year deal, and Minnesota made it fully guaranteed.
Yep.
And so everybody thought this, well, you see that? Well, they thought all the quarterbacks were going to come in line, and it was going to be, and it didn't happen.
No.
And so then Deshaun came along and got this outlier, this anomaly contract. And they said, no. We definitely not doing that.
No.
And so they're trying to get this thing back in line because we're going to see, it's very interesting, because what does Joe Burrow? What does Justin Herbert? Now, Tua, they just picked up the 5th-year option on him. But we know Joe Burrow. We know Cincinnati wants to do something. We believe the Chargers want to do something, even though they're going through something with the family fighting and want the brother wants to hold it. The sister say, no, we're hemorrhaging money. We need to sell it. But Justin Herbert, I'm sure his representative working, hey, that's y'all. What are you going to do for my client? We know Cincinnati is cheap-ola. But Joe Burrow's representative is Mike Brown.
You have to go beyond Deshaun's money for Joe Burrow.
Yes,
you just have to.
yes. You believe he can get more than that guaranteed? That's 230, Skip.
He's worth it.
No question. But first of all, it's Cincinnati, and we know the owners are trying to rein this thing back in.
The other thing that messed up Lamar is that 2 years ago, Patrick Mahomes said, sure, I'll take that deal. Yeah, I'll take a team-friendly deal.
Right.
It sounds pretty good in total.
Right.
But if you look hard at it, it's not that
And they
great.
knew within a year, 2 tops, that deal was going to be like, people going to be looking like, Patrick, how could you?
Yep.
But at the end of the day, these guys, like baseball, look out, what's the betterment of the league? I'm pushing it forward. I'm not just looking out for me. That's the way they think.
Yep.
Football players think, I'm thinking only me. And that's why baseball, Skip, you ain't taking no friend. The Players Association, Tony Clark, they are not going to let you take no hometown deal to go play with the Yankees. Remember, A-Rod tried to get money back. They say, I wish you might. You're not finna start that precedent here.
No,
and if you look at everybody, Skip, 300. Aaron Judge said, "No, I'm gonna need $40 million a year for 10 years." And guys keep pushing it.
Okay, but there's no salary cap.
Right, but Skip, guess what they did? They struck. We ain't playing no World Series. We not doing nothing. Ain't nobody playing. Ain't no minor leaguers coming up. Ain't nobody doing anything.
Took 2 of those to get to here. Yep.
But what does the NFL players do? With the deal
they cave
every year, and then the owners run to the networks and say, we got 10 years of labor peace. We want to redo our deal.
Yep.
And what does the network do? Okay. You got YouTube just bought the ticket. You got Amazon coming in, now you got a Black Friday game. You see? They understand, players, you need to understand. They don't view you as a partner. The networks are their partners. You are employees.
Yep.
I hate to break it to you, Skip. I hate to break news to them, but I don't think I'm interrupting their normally scheduled programming. But that's where we are, Skip. If he could go, if the Ravens, what about a first and a third? Would you take a first and a third, maybe a player, maybe a first and a third and a fifth next year for Lamar instead of 2 ones?
Is there another Jimmy Haslam out there who actually wants to go win a Super Bowl? Because if you do, it's sitting right here on a silver platter.
Yep. I mean, the guy don't want to be at the table with just Jimmy Haslam and the other 30 owners at a table together looking at them like,
okay.
Because you know Jimmy on the island, Skip. He's on an island. How could you do? Jerry's like, wasn't nobody else bidding. You had it. He was already, Skip. He hadn't even started on the 4-year contract.
Nope. Hadn't even started. You bid it against yourself.
You did.
Yep.
NFL owners meetings, coincidentally, guys, are unfolding right now in Phoenix at the Biltmore Hotel. You know this is a hot topic of conversation. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.